Hello, hello. I am Ben Pick, and thank you for joining me in Running to Write, where I give questionable writing advice through running metaphors. And thank you, Richard and RC, for joining me tonight. RC Scott, that is awesome that you guys are already here and early on. I do apologize. My voice is a little hoarse from this weekend. It's been a fun one. One of my friends had a 40th birthday, so it was a weekend of a whole lot of shenanigans. We had his high school friends were there, his college friends were there, and his hashing friends were there. So, you know, I made it back. I made it back in time to realize that my power had been out for a day, and I was all prepped to hang out at a different friend's house. So that way I could get my work done today. But the power came on last night after 2 days without power. So it's been fun. And hey, James Haley and Amy Rosenfeld, thank you for joining in. Yes, 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 exactly. So tonight is all about the AuthorTube community uplift tag. Now, this was created by author JC Carpenter, and I am fairly confident I have her video for this tag in the description. If not, I'll check after this is over, after I go off stream, and I will definitely put it in there to make sure that she gets full recognition for this, because this is for a very good cause. Also, hello, Cool Gamer. Thank you for joining in. And Wholesome Shenanigans? No. Yeah, it was his 40th birthday, so he basically just tried to act like he was 21 years old again, and it was fun times. Actually, he had a house along the river, and so I kayaked out to a nice little island, and because I'm an idiot and only wore my bathing suit, I was hiking through the woods over thistles and all types of thorns, wearing nothing. I had nothing on, no shoes, no sandals. It was just my bare feet, so I was pulling thorns out of my foot for quite some time, which was fun, but really nice hike. It was enjoyable, and about the only thing I did right there was that I put on enough sunscreen to last me for that kayak trip and then hike. So good times. Hey, whatever. That which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, right? Anyways, author JC Carpenter. Sorry, I'm being distracted. Yeah, so she put out a video asking for help. And so I really wanted to help as much as I could from this channel. So her Ko-fi page is open. She has her own AuthorTube community uplift tag video already out there, which I will add to the description. I think I only have her Ko-fi page available. And so if we can, I would love to be able to talk, but I would also love to be able to help out JC Carpenter, because she is a wonderful writer and a great friend of the podcast. So, or friend of the channel. So if you can, check out her video, watch her video, like, share, subscribe, do whatever, but also consider donating to her Ko-fi page, because she is going through a rough time at the moment, and her video fully explains everything that's going on. So I don't want to tell her story here, but I do encourage you to watch her video and to try and help her out as best you can. Now on to slightly better news. Next Monday, I won't be having a live stream episode, because I will be having it on Sunday at noon Eastern time. I'm going to be doing my Falling Through live stream party, because it has been a year on this Sunday since I published my debut novel. So August 6th, noon Eastern time, there'll be games, there'll be prizes. I will be discussing what Falling Through means to me and how my life has changed in surprising ways in the past year. And there'll be games, there'll be prizes. I am planning to read from a chapter of the book to show you what's in store. So hopefully I'll see y'all there, and on to tonight's episode. Again, this is the AuthorTube community uplift tag. Oh yeah, Richard, there will be prizes. Aw, thank you, Emmy. Yes, I fully understand. We are in completely different time zones, and so obviously if noon my time is not convenient to you, I strongly encourage you to get a full night's sleep. Going going back to this weekend, I was all excited to hang out with my friends and everything. And then the first night I fell asleep at 9 and slept for about 12 hours because I had pushed myself too much last week with a few early mornings that I don't want to get into here. But long story short, I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and I got maybe 4 hours of sleep for a few nights in a row. Sam Wicker, thank you. Thank you for joining in. And yes, happy book birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, AuthorTube community uplift tag. The very first question on there is, what channels brought you into the AuthorTube sphere? So these are the first channels that reeled you in, or reeled me in at this point, because I'm trying to ask them how she asked them, how author JC Carpenter asked them, so I got to flip everything around. And honestly, I got my start the same way as many other people. I know J.M. Chaley, I'm fairly confident that I met you through Jenna Moressi's channel, but that brought me into the other authors in the YouTube sphere and the writing process overall through YouTube. I met a few other writers and some I still talk to through that channel, but that's not really where I got my start in AuthorTube. That certainly brought me into the author adjacent sphere, but it wasn't until I started watching Barrett Laurie's channel that I got into AuthorTube proper. And that's where I met so many of you all. So Richard, Morgan, Margaret, Anita, everyone, almost everyone I know in AuthorTube, I met through either directly in Barrett Laurie's channel or through somebody else who he was giving a shout out to. And then that started me watching their channel. And then I started just commenting and posting and showing up to other people's book birthdays. And it just sort of spiraled out from there until we are here today. So yes, Jenna Moressi lit the fuse, but Barrett Laurie is the one who really started everything for me within the AuthorTube. Number 2, what are some of the AuthorTube channels you find the most motivating? Well, I already mentioned one of them, Margaret Pernard, and I know she kind of toes the line between AuthorTube and BookTube, but she does a little of everything, and she is so upbeat and so capable of bringing everyone together. She organizes readathons, karaoke nights from, I think it was a week and a half ago, and just general vlogs about all things bookish. So I think, again, technically she's moving more towards the BookTube side of it, but I still feel like she's got a lot of AuthorTube content in there. So yeah, Margaret Pernard, final answer. Hey, Felicia, thank you for joining in. Dreaming Truth Author, I appreciate you coming in and saying hi. Now, number 3, what's one AuthorTube channel you think might not be on anyone's radar, but should be? There's quite a few. I've tried to go for people. I mean, obviously, everyone here knows all of our own channels. Richard, J.M. Chaley, R.C. Scott, all of you, Sam Wicker, all of you, I thoroughly enjoy your content. So I wanted to branch out a little bit more to maybe somebody who isn't always in the comment section. So Axel Ada, he has such a creative outlook and frequently does trope videos, often with a fantasy focus. So I wanted to highlight that here. And I'm a fan of anyone who makes a how the Legend of Zelda inspired my writing video, because I'm in the world of Tears of the Kingdom. It's a lot of fun, and it's bringing me back in weird ways to high school and college courses where I was learning all about physics, because yeah, this is basically just a physics sandbox with Zelda things applied. And so it's always just fun. It's always fun to creatively solve whatever problems in there. And I can easily see that being used to inspire your own writing videos. So I think it was really cool when Axel did that video. Also, he's done, I want to say 2 videos. It might be 3, but I think it's 2, where he did a play on his last name because it's Ada. And that can also stand for Am I the Asshole? So he went through and pulled Am I the Asshole Reddit, pulled from that Reddit channel and just started reading off stories and then basically just judging people for the things that they think are normal but really aren't. Because if you take a step back, you realize that yes, that person is 100% the problem, and you can kind of, was it Schadenfreude, where I'm butchering that, but it's you laugh at somebody else's misery. And I really enjoyed Axel's take and his roasting of people who are just too oblivious to know that they're in the wrong. Now, number 4. An author tuber you've never had a chance to collab with. Who is an author tuber you've never had a chance to collab with and would love to? Here, I don't know. I feel like I'm too controlling and would want to work on. If I would want to work on a story with someone, my schedule is way too inconsistent. And I know that I would be a very unreliable and pretty much all around shitty partner when it comes to a writing experience. I know Martin Lejeune has his incredible, yeah, Martin Lejeune and Martin Bradley have their incredible science fiction story that they've been working on together. And I'm always astounded at how they're able to work together to get that story out there. And I know they were working on different chapters and they had the whole system down, but I write relatively inconsistently. It's kind of like drinking from the garden hose, where some days I just don't do anything. And then I sit down on a Sunday, Saturday usually, and then just write for 4 hours, get a whole lot done, feel really productive, and then just plan out the rest of the week. And then that leads to more and more and more. But it could just be like this week where I finished editing a book and now I'm on a slight dry spell where I'll pick back up again tomorrow. So I took off a few days to just sort of relax. That being said, I would happily bring anyone onto this channel to share their experiences. So I want to know more about you. RC Scott, I think we talked about bringing you on to Running to Write at some point, because I really want to talk about how anime has inspired your writing, and we could just have a great talk of sharing our love for anime. I mean, one of my characters in my story, Tracy, her abilities are almost pulled directly from Full Metal Alchemist, or they're heavily influenced by it. In fact, there was a scene where I was trying to describe, well, where my wife, my alpha reader, read through it, and she's like, I don't understand what you mean by wall fists. And so what I was trying to convey was the character is using her powers to transform the walls into what amounts to fists that are punching people, which is really hard to describe. And so I showed her an image from Full Metal Alchemist, which is basically doing just that. And then it finally clicked to her, and we were able to come together to help with some descriptions that will hopefully work for a larger audience when you all get around to reading that book. We shall see. Number 5. What's one thing about AuthorTube that you love the most? So the thing about AuthorTube that I love the most is the community. I know it's really dumb because this tag is all about the community itself, but I have rough days and I have great days, and this community makes the good days better because we just sit around and talk about the things that we love, and it makes the worst days better too. So I might have just be really stressed out with work. I might not have been writing for a few days. And, Richard Holloway will just ping me and just say, hey, get writing. Or if I say, like, I really don't feel like writing, he's just like, that's fine. Then take the night off. And then tomorrow get back to writing. And it's just wonderful having somebody there to cheer me on. And it's not just him. It's a whole bunch of other people. It is everyone. It is the people in the comments who are just saying hi to everyone. So let's see. Oh, Emma made it, which is really cool because we have another person in the UK, and I know it's very late for you, so thank you for joining in. I'm sorry that it's, midnight, if not later, and it's awesome that you're here right now. Again, going back to the community, I hope you manage to get a good night's rest tomorrow, and just coming to say hey means a lot to me, and it's awesome that how we all come together to support one another. Yes, I second that opinion, Emma. So thank you very much. It is the loveliest community on AuthorTube. Or I rather say AuthorTube is the loveliest community on YouTube. I don't know. Either way you want to think about it, that's how I do it. Number 6. What's one thing you wish other people didn't assume about AuthorTubers? I had a tough time in planning for this one because I don't know what other people assume about AuthorTubers in the first place. So I guess I'm just going to apply what people assume about self-published authors to AuthorTube, in that we don't necessarily prepare, or that this is kind of sloppy or not well refined. And to that, I say yes. In some ways, this live stream is a little bit haphazard at times. As much as I prepare, as much as I try, I know I do mess up and I do slip. And this certainly by no means is professional. But at the same time, I like those mistakes. I like these live streams a lot more than my prepared videos, where I try and make sure that I get the exact cut of exactly what I want to say, and I don't have any mishaps with my voice. I don't have any cracking. I don't have any, too much background noise. I don't have a fan going on in the background. But I enjoy these more genuine moments where I'm slipping up, where I'm not remembering the exact wording that I want to say, where I'm thinking on the fly and trying to get it out to you as best as I can. And I don't even know where I'm going with that, but I just like that I'm not professional. And so if that means that I come off as a little bit more less refined, that's fine. Now, I do see a few videos. Let's see here. I have a script here, but I'm pretty much well off of that at this point. So just like with books, there are some self-published books that I do think could use another edit. There are some author tubers out there who could use maybe more equipment. But again, this is a hobby, so I wouldn't expect anyone. I don't go into a video expecting anyone to have a full soundproofing in their room wherever they're recording, and to have the top of the line equipment to use, because this shouldn't be perfect. And those are my opinions. So not every self-published book is amazing. Not every AuthorTube channel, not every AuthorTube video, especially mine, I will flat out say, plenty of my videos are terrible. That's just the way it is. But I've also read plenty of self-published books that go toe-to-toe with traditional. I've watched plenty of videos in AuthorTube that feel like they are professionally done, even if it's not their main job, even if they aren't somebody who has tens of thousands of viewers who watch every video and comment and buy all their books and do all this other stuff. But what it does mean is that we can put a lot more of ourselves into our videos, a lot more ourselves into our books. And in that way, we can kind of create various niche stories, either what we convey to people out there or what we convey in our written novels. So it can be a lot more tailor-made than, say, broad strokes of, here's the 10 best tips to recording. Here's the 10 best tips you need to know if you're using, I don't even know. If you're going to, here are the 10 best tips to self-publish. This allows me to say, these are the 10 best tips that I used when I published. And if you're doing something similar to me, if you're following the same path as me, then you can either learn to mirror what I did, or learn from my mistakes, or custom fit them to apply to whatever it is that you're doing. So in summary, I'd say that the one thing to assume about AuthorTube is that it can be very customized. You can say, hey, I have less than 10 people in here, so I can say hi to all of them, and I can specifically address what they're working on. Like, if this were all about the self-publishing process, I would probably want to talk to Jam Chelly, because we've had a few conversations the past week about the tools that we use, the format, the font. But that's going down a giant rabbit hole, and so I'm going to bring it back into the tag video itself. Now, number 7. What is a new AuthorTube channel that you want to spotlight? Now, slight confession, I use this question as a chance to find out new AuthorTubers. I didn't want to go through anybody that I already knew. I didn't want to go through anybody who has already 1,000 subscribers, so they're already well established. So I typed in AuthorTube newbie tag and sorted based on most recent. And I landed on a channel which is just starting off. In fact, not only is it just starting off, but Emma Bennett was already in there supporting this channel. So indie writers, or rather, the channel is Andy Writes. Good luck and welcome. Andy is a young adult urban fantasy and horrible. Sorry. Wow, that was bad. Andy is a young adult urban fantasy and horror writer. So welcome. I'm sorry I butchered that, but again, this is live, so we get what we get. And Lauren Adele, thank you for joining in. I'm glad to see you here and happy Monday. Yeah, I like the spontaneous and genuine way that Andy speaks. She's brave enough to include mistakes in her videos without needing to explicitly compile them. I don't want to give I can give a slight spoiler for her videos, but she repeatedly missaid the word horror and then just went off on like a minute of trying to say it right. So it was funny. It was certainly realistic. And while I am compiling my outtakes for the process videos that I do into an outtakes video like that, now that I'm live, or now I'm doing more live, I don't have as much content for outtake videos. And so we will both have a lot of mistakes in our videos. Wow. Everybody, thank you for joining in. SD Houston, Nicole, the Blind Mage, thank you for joining in. And yeah, SD Houston, I should know this. I know we're close to the deadline for your Kickstarter to be finishing. Did it actually end? I don't remember if it was tonight or if it was yesterday, but either way, congratulations. You have, I think you hit your 3,000 limit your $3,000 goal, because I saw your video. And if you want to put your link in here, if your Kickstarter is still open, please put it in the chat and I will happily post it. If not, congratulations, because I know that was a monumental effort. Now, anyways, close it an hour and a half. Perfect, perfect, perfect. If you put the link in here, I will happily post it up there. But yeah, all of you, if you're watching this and it is before 9 p.m. Eastern time on Monday the 31st, go ahead, check out Shannon S.D. Houston's Kickstarter. It is for her series of A Curse of Scales and Feathers, and I was a beta reader for that. I feel like, I've already read the book, and it's fantastic. So whatever that version of reader was, I did it, and I'm really excited for the final edition to come out. I've seen a lot of the artwork that goes along with it, which is all beautiful. You're not wrenched. Okay. Then I will just do something really unprofessional, and let's go Kickstarter. So let's stall. And anyways, let me kick back to this, and then I will take a second to get there. But Andy writes the channel. She did a bunch of batch videos, and so I'm hoping there'll be more content. And I want to hear more of her writing journey on the way, because the works in progress sound really interesting. She was talking about this idea where you have these twin witches that move in with her aunt, and shenanigans ensues. It's probably the right way of saying it. Anyways, it sounds like a whole lot of fun magical mischief, as I don't believe that they knew in advance that they had magical powers, and so they're just kind of discovering them as they go. Now, before I get to the 8th and final question, let me see how well my Google Foo is working today. So, SD Houston. Hey, got in one. Awesome. Curse of Scales and Feathers. So, if you are up for how to describe it? Young adults, shifter romance. I think that's the best way of putting it. And I know Shannon has described it much better than I have. So, let's see here. That is her Kickstarter. And yeah. So I was a beta reader. I got it. I'm right. I'm actually paying attention to things. I know things. I drink and I know things. Yeah. Also, I'll just leave that up there. So, last question for JC Carpenter's AuthorTube community uplift tag. Number 8. What's one way becoming an AuthorTuber has changed your life for the better? And yes, thank you, Lauren Adele, for With Dragons. Always makes a story better. So it's an epic fantasy romance, but close enough. Yeah, thank you. Well, I mean, there's a shift of romance in there. I don't know that. I guess I should have focused more on the epic fantasy. But yes. However you want to describe it, you are the author, and you are absolutely right. So anyways, how has AuthorTube changed my life? Well, first of all, I kind of hinted at this already, but it forces me to write. I hit dry spells and low motivation days, yet this community cheers me and pushes me on when, like I said, I was gone this weekend, so obviously I wasn't going to be writing, and yeah. I was too busy socializing. It was just one giant weekend of shenanigans. I keep saying shenanigans. Anyways, Richard sent me his word count today, and so now I know that I want to get back into another cycle of editing my book before I send it off to a professional editor. I have 2 months before I do that, month and a half-ish. And so I want to get into another full cycle there. And so by being a part of this community, I write a lot more. I am often busy when productivity sprints are going on, but I do try and join them when I can. But I think I definitely posted this elsewhere. I don't think I actually said it in this episode. So if you came here through Instagram, I probably already said this, but I would not have ever published if it weren't for AuthorTube. Flat out. Like I said, I was learning about the writing process on Jenna Moressi's channel, but it wasn't until I was fully immersed in AuthorTube, regularly hanging out with other indie authors, that I felt like I could actually do this. And I felt like I really wanted to get my book published. So there is always a crowd cheering us on. I have friends that I hang out with regularly online. I've met fellow gamers here. I've met AuthorTubers. I met people who I only know from the internet in person, which is, going back 10, well, definitely 20 years ago. That's like warning bells should be going off. I met a friend through the internet. We have to meet in real life, but yeah. So I met so many friends here. I met people I play games with. I met people I watch shows with, movies with, and I just meet people I hang out with online and shoot the shit with, which is a lot of fun. So I care about other AuthorTubers' writing passions, but I'm more interested in some of our non-writing hobbies. I find that's also just as interesting. Like I was saying with RC Scott and anime, or I know there's a couple of musicians out there, or karaoke. I mean, I don't really do karaoke. Certainly not recently. I mean, I got a couple of friends who I'll go out with and do karaoke with them, and they're fantastic. They can work a crowd, but I've hung out on a Saturday night with Margaret and Barrett and everyone here to sing online and sing karaoke. And because everyone's streaming their videos, there's a slight delay between everyone, so it's very hard to get us all synced up, but it is just a part of the karaoke experience. And yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. I enjoyed that video that you put out there, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, but that is it. So if you're here, if you're in this channel, like I said, please watch JC Carpenter's video. Please feel free to donate to her Ko-fi and just help an AuthorTuber out. And if you're here in this chat now, if you're watching this video at a later date, oh, also, hey, Nia, thank you for joining in. Sorry, I missed you right there. Yeah, the karaoke is hilarious and fun. But like I'm saying, if you are watching this consider yourself tagged if you want to do this. If you want to do this tag, go ahead and check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's really makes you think about how, well, I certainly have been thinking about how I've changed since joining AuthorTube and all the people I've met through it, which is always fantastic. So with that, I will bid you all a great, wonderful Monday night. Hopefully all of you have power and you weren't too bad with the storm. I know some of us are more northeast coast based. So there was a pretty bad storm that rolled through. I lost power for about 2 days. I know Baltimore, I think, was hit a little bit as well. So kind of widespread power outages. But that's neither here nor there because I am back home and I am fully powered and the AC is wonderful. And like I said, I hope to see you all, for those of you who are awake, at noon, August 6th, for my 1-year book anniversary. And I hope to see you there. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful night. See you on August 6th at noon. Bye.